Imagine you're deep in conversation, a really lively back and forth, and you're absolutely convinced you're talking to another human, only to discover you're not. How would that make you feel? A little surprised, maybe even a bit unnerved, perhaps, but, well, undeniably impressed too. Today, we're plunging into a truly fascinating and, yeah, maybe a little unsettling development in the world of artificial intelligence. We're talking about the news that OpenAI's GPT 4.5 model, that's their latest, highly advanced conversational AI, has reportedly passed the Turing Test. And this isn't just some technical footnote, it's a massive milestone. It's sparking intense discussions everywhere. So, our mission in this deep dive is to unpack exactly what passing the Turing test actually means in this, well, brave new AI landscape. We'll dig into the specifics of the groundbreaking study, the unique conditions that led to this breakthrough, and perhaps most importantly, what this doesn't mean for AI consciousness, and what it definitely does mean for our future interactions with technology. We're going to get you well informed, fast, with all the surprising facts and, the nuanced insights from the research that's making waves right now. To guide us, we'll be drawing insights from a key article that meticulously details this significant event. It'll help us navigate the hype and get right to the core of the findings. Okay, let's unpack this then, because the headline really is monumental. ChatGPT, powered by its GPT 4.5 model, has officially crossed a new threshold. As we dug into the research, we learned that in a University of California, San Diego study, it actually passed the Turing test. And when I say passed, it wasn't just like squeaking by. In a quick 5-minute conversation, a remarkable 73% of participants believed the AI they were interacting with was, in fact, human. Now, to give you some context on how they did this, you were put into two back-to-back text conversations, one with a human, one with a chatbot. Then you were simply asked to identify which was which. Simple setup. But here's where it gets really interesting. GPT 4.5 even outperformed some of the actual human participants in the study. Some humans were mistakenly identified as AI. That's quite the plot twist, wouldn't you say?
It is. And what's truly fascinating here is precisely that number 73%. Nearly three-quarters of people were convinced. This isn't, a slight edge or a few outliers we're talking about. It's a significant majority being genuinely fooled. When Alan Turing proposed this test back in 1950, it was largely a theoretical concept, wasn't it? A thought experiment. But what it would mean for a machine to exhibit human-like intelligence conversationally, this study just makes that proposal feel much more real, much more tangible. It brings that decades-old idea into stark modern relief and truly pushes the boundaries of what we thought was possible for conversational AI.
That's incredibly impressive, yeah. But it definitely makes you wonder, how did it do it? Was it just inherently that sophisticated? Or was there, something more at play behind the scenes?
As we delve deeper into the research, a crucial detail just pucked out. GPT 4.5 wasn't operating as a blank slate when it entered these conversations, not at all. To help it succeed so convincingly, the model was actually given a detailed personality to mimic. And what an effective persona it was. The AI was specifically instructed to act like let me get this right, a young, slightly awkward but internet-savvy introvert with a streak of dry humor. That little nudge towards humanity, that specific character brief made it surprisingly convincing. It even offered up mildly embarrassing anecdotes. So it wasn't just generating text, it was playing the very specific, carefully constructed role.
Exactly. And stepping back, this performance aspect is absolutely vital for understanding the results. You can't ignore it. The illusion, as impressive as it was, well, it collapsed pretty dramatically when those guiding prompts were stripped away. Without that tailored personality, the AI only fooled 36% of participants. Big drop. This tells us a critical truth. It's a language model playing a part, as the article puts it. It's not a mind waking up or genuinely perceiving the world in a human way. Not even close. When it forgets its character sheet, which I think is a great phrase, it's really just another autocomplete. Essentially, it's performing, not perceiving. It's an incredibly sophisticated act of mimicry, sure, designed to evoke human responses, but it's still fundamentally different from genuine human thought.
Right. This all raises such an important question for us, and really for everyone following this space. What exactly is the Turing test then? And maybe more importantly, what did Alan Turing himself intend for it to measure back in 1950? It feels like the public perception of the test has kind of ballooned beyond its original scope, often leading to these, well, misunderstandings. Turing's proposal was actually quite specific, wasn't it? It was about a machine being able to converse well enough to be mistaken for a human, thereby possessing human intelligence, but only in that very specific conversational sense. But here's the crucial nuance, and it's one of the most insightful points the article makes. He didn't equate passing his test with proof of consciousness or self-awareness. That wasn't the goal. He was focused entirely on the outward behavior, the ability to mimic, the conversational dexterity, not the inner state, not subjective experience.
Yes, and this has been such an important distinction for philosophers and engineers alike. It's a debate that has, well, it's grappled with this very point for decades. The test measures conversational capability. It measures the ability to mimic human interaction in a text-based format. But it absolutely does not measure actual self-reflection or, emotional connections. GPT 4.5 doesn't feel nervous before it generates a response. Doesn't care if it fooled you. Not one bit. The model isn't proud of passing the test because it doesn't even know what a test is, let alone pride. It only knows things in the way, as the article says, a dictionary knows the definition of words. I loved this description. It is a black box of probabilities wrapped in a cozy linguistic sweater. That sweater makes it seem warm and familiar, maybe even human. But it doesn't fundamentally change what's inside that black box.
It's incredible how convincing that cozy linguistic sweater can be, though, right? Given all this, why do so many people still jump to conclusions about AI being self-aware or genuinely conscious? If it's just a language model playing a part, why do we project so much more onto it? Why are we so ready to believe there's a mind in there somewhere? The article makes a really insightful point here, I thought. It says, if a chatbot delivers a convincing enough act, our brains are more than happy to fill in the rest. And that feels very true. It's a natural human tendency. Think about it. We cry at movies, we fall in love with fictional characters in books, we project emotions onto everything, from our pets to, well, sometimes even inanimate objects. It's almost as if our brains are kind of hardwired to find consciousness and intent in sophisticated patterns, even when they're not actually there. We seem to want to connect, and a convincing conversational partner just triggers that impulse, I suppose. And maybe that explains why we're seeing some, frankly, concerning statistics mentioned, like the fact that 25% of Gen Z now believe AI is already self-aware. That's a quarter of an entire generation making a pretty significant leap. A leap that even the creators of these models, and certainly Alan Turing himself, would likely caution against. It really highlights the immense power of a convincing performance, doesn't it? Even when that performance isn't backed by actual perception or any kind of inner life.
Absolutely. And from a broader perspective, this points to a significant challenge ahead for all of us. Distinguishing between highly sophisticated mimicry and true understanding. Our human propensity to empathize, to attribute human qualities, that can actually be a vulnerability. Especially in the face of such advanced AI. It's not just about what the AI could do, but also about how we interpret what it does. This isn't just some abstract philosophical discussion anymore. It's impacting how people perceive a technology that is increasingly woven into their daily lives. Understand that difference between performance and perception is absolutely critical, especially for navigating the evolving information landscape that these AIs are, frankly, helping to create around us.
So, okay, let's bring this back. What does this all mean for you, listening right now? Regardless of the deeper philosophical questions about consciousness, an AI that can fool this many people this consistently is an incredibly powerful tool. That's undeniable. And like any powerful tool, it could definitely be wielded in unethical hands. The ability to convincingly mimic human interaction opens up a whole new realm of possibilities. Both beneficial, sure, but also, yes, potentially quite harmful. Just consider the potential for misuse for a second. What happens when that smooth-talking customer support representative you're chatting with online isn't a harried human in a call center, but an AI trained to sound disarmingly helpful specifically to people like you, and maybe specifically trained to upsell a subscription you don't necessarily need or want? The implications for trust, for manipulation, and just for the very nature of our digital interactions are, well, they're significant and frankly a bit unsettling if you think about it too much. We're talking about a new, highly effective level of persuasion, or, think about its role in creating fake news or misinformation. An AI that can generate convincing, emotionally resonant narratives tailored to specific audiences, that could become a powerful tool for manipulation on a grand scale, making it even harder for you to discern truth from sophisticated fiction online.
Yeah, and to put this into context, the analogy the article provides is really good. Think of it like a dog in a suit walking on its hind legs. Okay. It might look like a little entrepreneur on the way to the office, maybe, and the performance itself, is undeniably impressive. Clever dog. But it's still just a trick. That's the key takeaway. It's not natural behavior for a dog, and it certainly doesn't mean the dog is a true entrepreneur or understands, the intricacies of business. It doesn't mean banks will be handing out business loans to canines anytime soon, right? The cleverness of the imitation should not be confused with genuine understanding or intent. It's a testament to the remarkable engineering, the vast data sets they trained it on, not to some burgeoning consciousness. So maybe when you're interacting with a customer service bot, for instance, consider asking a follow-up question that might break its persona or look for cues that aren't purely linguistic, like maybe a sudden inability to deviate from its script. Just things to help you stay grounded in the reality of the interaction.
So, wrapping up our deep dive today, we've explored how OpenAI's GPT 4.5 model passed the Turing test, not through some inherent consciousness or, self-awareness popping into existence, but through the clever and highly effective use of a tailored personality. A script, essentially. It's a testament to its incredibly advanced linguistic capabilities, yes, a powerful performance, but one that is distinctly separate from true perception or anything like a waking mind.
And understanding this crucial distinction is just more important than ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
As these AI models become increasingly integrated into our daily lives, influencing everything from customer service interactions to the news you read to content creation, it equips you, the listener, to critically evaluate your interactions with these technologies, to appreciate the impressive engineering behind them, absolutely. But to do so without falling for the illusion of a truly self-aware, feeling entity on the other side of the screen. It allows for a much more grounded, realistic engagement with what is, at the end of the day, a powerful new tool, helping you discern the act from genuine understanding.
So here's a final thought for you to take away. As AI models become increasingly sophisticated at mimicking human interaction, even to the point, as we saw here, of outperforming us in certain conversational tests, what does this ultimately force us to reconsider about our own definitions? Our definitions of intelligence, maybe, connection, and what it truly means to be human. Something for you to ponder as you navigate your next digital conversation, and perhaps, maybe even your next human one.